back. So in this video we're going to talk about excuses for poor mediumship. Maybe controversial, my apologies in advance, but that's what we'll be talking about in this video. So straight out the gate, I'm an advocate of owning the mistakes. If you make a mistake, I think your audience prefers it when you say, you know, I messed up, I got it wrong. That way they trust you. And what we're going to discuss in this video is when things like, as an example, we're doing a link and we go out with it. Maybe you haven't gone direct and you're throwing it out, and there's no response to it. What tends to happen is the medium may say, oh well, there's someone in this audience not putting their hand up, which I'm sure we've all done, but don't make it a habit, or blaming people in the audience for it going wrong. Now it's much easier to own the mistake there. You know, I've obviously made an error there. Someone will understand most of the information, and then usually you'll get your hand in that moment. Maybe you got the age wrong, maybe the relationship was a bit out, something was wrong, that's why the person hasn't put their hand up. Don't blame the audience, don't blame the person, because that's not going to bode well for a demonstration, for the energy. You're actually going to be your own worst enemy in that scenario. There would be another one that's far too common, that is seen around your circles, your groups, your demonstrations, is one where you say something that's not right, probably nowhere near it. The client actually responds and gives you a thumbs up, I think you mean this, or do you mean that? And then the medium says, that's exactly what I meant, that's what I meant. But everyone can see you didn't mean that. You worded it wrong, it was the polar opposite, whatever it was. Again, just own the mistakes, own it right there, and move on. Let the evidence do the rest from that. Don't pass blame or make out that you said blue when you meant red or something like that. Another one of these classic scenarios is when you're giving specific information, maybe. Sometimes generic, sometimes specific, but the client has no idea what's going on there. Now, I think sometimes the spirit world will give you the odd thing to go away with. They will give you something to maybe research or and find out at a later date that the medium was evidential. It's become a little bit too common now when mediums are like, go check this out, go check. It's almost every link, and before you know it, they're leaving with a bin liner full of information over their shoulder that they've got to go away and check. I don't think that does the mediumship any good, doesn't do your mediumship any good, if people are constantly having to go away and check or double check with things. Now, I have done it once where I was working with a young lady, and I said to her, I have your dad here. Tells me his name's Paul. He was of this age, of this passing, etc. You know, and the young lady agreed. I'd gone direct with her. She had agreed fully. Yep, that is my dad. That is his age. That is that. But his name's not Paul. And quite arrogantly, I was like, oh, I'm sure it is. You know, I'm sure it is. So I gave it again, and in this particular demonstration, we had an interval. So I said in the interval, in front of everyone, double check, ring your mum. And she looked at me like I'm some sort of weirdo. Why would I need to ring my mum? I know my dad's name. And it turned out in the interval she rang her mum, and mum said no, dad's name was Paul, just everyone called him John. His birth certificate does say Paul. So in that instance it's clever, because they've gone away. My audience has seen that it's been verified because I had an interval. So it added value there. It doesn't add value when you're doing it every link. They're having to go away and no one else gets to see the verification or anything like that. I don't think it's doing you any value. The likelihood is you've said something wrong, the likelihood. the majority of the time. So just own it, own the mistake, repackage it, try a different angle, but don't pass the blame, or don't give them bags and bags of stuff to go home with. They're there for evidence on the evening that there is a spirit world, and that's our role as the medium to do that. Another one is when we're kind of searching for it, you know. We build up a communicator, we send it out into a small group, a demonstration, circle, whatever, and we offer this information out, but no one's immediately putting their hand up. And then the medium is asking, you know, think right outside the box, think of the school friends that you had, you know, and that may be past. Now, you may be working with 20 people in your audience that are over 60. Of course they're going to have school friends that are in the spirit world. Does it make sense that they're going to communicate over their husband, over their mum, over their dad? For me, that doesn't make sense at all. It's another video in the process, but once again, it's the mind of the medium that has done that, looking for different, looking for weird and wonderful, and not getting the immediate. The moment your client, your audience are there, their loved ones, their people are there, I don't see how these people get the opportunity to sort of queue jump. My loved ones wouldn't let some random or someone from 30 years ago appear to give me a reading when I could receive that reading from a nan, a grandfather, a sister. Doesn't hold right. So again, I would maybe just repackage it, own the mistake, and take it from there. I promise you, your audience will respect you a lot more. They will like your mediumship a lot more. They will feel you're authentic, and in that process, your reputation for your mediumship can grow, which most of you want. Most of you want that to happen. So don't BS someone, because you sell out for one dam or one communication, it damages the rest of your mediumship forever. It doesn't go away. So just try and remember that. So I think I've covered that. It's something we need to own. Own what we're saying, own our mistakes, own the positives, own the highs, but own it. It's yours. You said it. It was your mind that did it. And in that process, I think you'll grow and move forward in that process. It was a viewer's question, so thank you to the viewer that asked the question. It could potentially be controversial, but you all know I'm doing it from a good place. I'm trying to help where I can. So shouldn't be too much hate, really. We've all seen it, possibly all done it, but hopefully we've all moved through it. So I'll wrap this one up here. As always, like the video if you liked it. Get in the comments, let me know your experience. Have you seen this? Have you lost respect for a medium because they did this? Subscribe if you aren't already. And I'll catch you lot in the next video. Don't know if you remember the older videos. Let me adjust that light in there. But that used to be where them little stumps were, you know, where I could sit there. I've just found that space again and it's gone. Oh well, it seems like so much has changed in there. But I'll come back again soon. Bye for real this time.